Hey everyone, my name is Jack and welcome to another episode of my net worth series. For those of you new to the series, I'm attempting to reach financial independence in the next 5 years and a $1 million net worth within the next 7 years, and this series is documenting my progress towards both of those goals. Definitely check out the link above if you want to start the series from the very beginning, and definitely give this video a like if you find it helpful or inspirational or not inspirational and just want to help a guy out. But basically in each episode I'll go through my entire personal financial statement and take a look at where my assets are and my liabilities, and then obviously figure out what my net worth change was from the last month. I do it on the first of every single month, so definitely subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes. Before I get into the numbers, I want to talk a little bit about not only the purpose of this series, but the purpose of the channel itself and kind of what I'm trying to get out of this and what hopefully other people can get out of it. And I think it's especially relevant given what's going on right now with all of the riots and the pain that the country is going through in a lot of different ways, and kind of what we can do to improve ourselves during these times. And if you don't care about any of that, you can go ahead and use the timestamp on the screen, and it'll take you to the numbers portion of this episode if that's all you really care about. Which reminds me to remind you that in the description below, you will find a link to my net worth tracker where you can actually take a look at all the numbers yourself. I also have a helpful graph there showing my progress or lack thereof. And then it also shows my debt ratio as well to see how many liabilities I have compared to my assets in a different way. It's just a good way to visualize the data if you want to take a look. Now this series, I know it can be taken as some sort of weird flex, like trying to show off what I make in a particular month or what I'm worth. I do want to disclose that I'm definitely not making a ton of money. There are people who make more than me. There are people who are worth way more than me who don't do this sort of thing. And that's kind of the reason why I wanted to start this channel. I don't think there's a lot of people out there who will show their exact assets and liabilities as they're trying to progress towards a greater financial goal. Usually it's kind of all after the fact. Someone will show off their Lambo without showing how they actually got the Lambo, and who cares about that? It's just flaunting at that point. But that's not what I want to do with this series. I want to take it to where you can see my progress or lack thereof and see what's working and what's not working as I try to reach a pretty common financial goal. That's financial independence. And then also a lot of people want to be worth $1 million for whatever reason, whether they want to use that money for something else or if they just want to use it for a more heightened financial freedom. But really, it's a common goal, and I think if I can make a series that documents my progress towards that goal, other people can potentially use it for their own benefit as well. And if no one uses it, then I guess it's no harm to anyone other than myself for all the time I spent in making the series. But there are a lot of channels that look at things retroactively. They'll take a look at what they did 10 years ago to get the wealth that they have today. I want to do this in reverse, which obviously will take a long time, but you'll be able to see everything in real time, and I think that's super valuable because times change very rapidly. The opportunities from 10 years ago are very different than the ones today, and you can see what opportunities I'm going for or not going for, all while it's actually happening. And then, if I do end up reaching my goals when I want to reach them, you'll be able to see everything and how it worked and kind of the decisions I had to make, and you can see if there are patterns that maybe you can take advantage of. But please do remember that this is not financial advice and should only be used for entertainment and inspiration purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and this video is not financial advice, just a guy on YouTube. And beyond the series with my entire channel, the whole purpose is education. It's to not only talk about things that I want to know more about, so I'll take the time to learn them and try to articulate them to other people, which I think is a very useful skill for myself for selfish reasons. I think the knowledge that I have can hopefully help someone who might not have that specific knowledge. If they're not familiar with how a certain financial topic works or how a certain investment works, there are people who are more knowledgeable than me. There's tons of great YouTube channels and blogs and everything that talk about a variety of topics that you can learn a lot about. I'm just one of many. But I do want to be part of that process. I want to be part of the people who give information and then can combine information from other sources and can make it more concise or make it somehow useful for other people. I think that's a useful skill for myself that I'm always working on, and hopefully it can have some benefits for other people as well, aka you, the viewer. And I also want this to be inspiration for people who might want to start their own channel or their own blog or try to get their own sort of following, because I'm still very early on in this process. And there are plenty of other people who are early on in whatever process they're going through, whether it be financial or some other educational process. Why not put yourself out there and tell people about what you know, because you'd be surprised at how helpful things are to other people. I mean, when I was starting my financial journey, I started turning to blogs and YouTube channels, and I found it so helpful to learn from people who maybe were just recently in my shoes. And I could learn from them very quickly, and I hope to do the same now on the other side. And it's definitely something that you can do too, especially with all this free time with quarantine and everything like that, so you might as well give it a shot. You might not get a gigantic following, but if that's not your goal anyways, then who cares? It's just putting yourself out there and forcing yourself to articulate a particular topic that you know something about. Not to mention, I think it'll be really cool years from now that I'll be able to show off to my kids what I was like when I was in my 20s, and these videos I was making, and kind of the progress that I made in getting to the point that I will be many years from now. I think that'll be really cool, and you can't really do that unless you start documenting now. You can't document the past if you never did it in the first place. But that's a bonus reason. It's not the primary reason, though I'll definitely take it because it is pretty cool. I'll get off my soapbox now and get on to a different one. I'll talk about myself again. Now, this month was a very interesting month because we have the market still going up. So my investments have actually done pretty well, at least the ones I have. I'm still shopping for a real estate deal, and I actually learned just this morning that after making an offer on a property over asking price in Indianapolis, I was still denied, and someone else got their offer accepted. And it's just amazing how strange this market is. We have record high unemployment that's rapidly increasing at the same time. And now we have riots on top of it. And it's very bizarre that the market can still keep plugging along, even not beyond the stock market, also in real estate. It's still pretty hot in a lot of areas, or at least hasn't cooled down very much. Some areas it definitely has, but at least not in Indianapolis, it seems to be plugging along just fine. Very strange market we're in very strange times for sure. And we're really starting to see some serious frustration from people who are upset not only with their own situation, but with the greater system, if they don't like the inconsistencies that we've seen, not just in the economy, but obviously socially as well. The riots are not just from one specific event. Maybe they were triggered by one event, but they've been spawned out of many different things that affect many different people. And that's why it's important that you always take a look at your own situation and see what you can do to improve it first, because there are a lot of people who are just confused and are going out and joining these riots, for example, looting places, not because they're necessarily evil, but just because it's an opportunity, then they feel like they don't have any other opportunities, and they're taking advantage of it because there's currently no real negative consequences with it when you're in a mob. So it's a very odd situation right now for a lot of people. And that's why it's always imperative to look for ways to improve yourself, not only by educating yourself, but also looking to how you can improve your emotional and social relationships with other people. These are important things to maintain as well, and a lot of things, partly because of quarantine, partly because of the super hard economic times we're in, have gone by the wayside as people have been prioritizing other problems. And that's really caused this outpour of emotion that we're seeing across the nation with all of the destruction that we've seen too. Without further ado, it's time to actually get into the numbers and see what my progress was this last month. As a reminder, last month we were at $60,807.62 in net worth, with a debt ratio of about 83%. That marked a $2,317 gain, which was certainly better than the previous month, but was still well short of the pace that we're going to be needing eventually, which is about $10,000 a month to actually reach the $1 million goal in the next 7 years. As always, let's start with the good stuff, the assets. I still have a massive pile of cash sitting there, and a lot of my assets are in cash because I've taken out that massive draw on my HELOC a couple months ago at the super low interest rate because I didn't want my HELOC to be frozen, and I wanted to keep my funds free so that I could actually buy a piece of real estate, which I'm trying to do very soon. I thought I was really close to having that one since I made an above asking price offer, but there were still a bunch of other offers, and one of them either was higher than mine or maybe it was an all-cash deal, who knows, and they were able to beat me, so now I'm still on the hunt. Stocks, as I alluded to, actually did quite well since the market keeps plugging along for whatever reason, whether it be Fed printing or other things, but people are, I guess, optimistic enough to make the market at least go sideways, if not slightly upwards. So I actually am up to $84,000 in stocks, or nearly $85,000 in stocks, and I have quite a bit of put options ready to go, as I've shown in previous episodes in this Robinhood account, and that's to protect myself on the downside in case the market crashes anytime soon, which I'm a little worried it will. The only reason I'm really doing that is because a lot of the money in the stock market that I have right now is kind of tied to debt. I do have a lot of debt. I do have a lot of cash at the same times, but since I'm really just trying to park my cash so that I can use it elsewhere, I don't want to run into some liquidity crisis if the market goes down a ton and then I'm kind of screwed. Well, maybe not screwed, but definitely not in a very good position. Otherwise, not really much has changed on the asset front. Hopefully the next asset I get will be a nice piece of real estate somewhere in Indianapolis that cash flows. That would be great, but it's getting tough because the market is still very hot. It's as though nothing really happened in these last couple months. I don't know if that's going to change soon. I think it would, but we'll see. One thing that I forgot to mention is that I did get the stipend payment that I mentioned I was going to be getting last episode, so that added to my cash a bit, and that definitely helped on the cash front. So I didn't take out any new debt, so that's the reason my cash went up fairly significantly. In total, that leaves $365,867.98 in assets. And now for the liabilities. I've actually made some debt payments, so our student loan count went down, and I made a payment on our HELOC, so that went down as well. No new draws or anything like that. Now my credit card's here. You're going to see that. Oh, I have a $410 balance on my credit card. But as I've said on this channel before, I never carry a balance to the bill. I always try to pay it down. I've actually got a payment scheduled on this card already to pay it down right away. I never let any interest hit, and neither should you, because credit card interest is very expensive and there's not a very big benefit unless you're going to starve, which I get some people are in that situation some of the time, but if you're just carrying credit card debt just cause and you have cash elsewhere that you can use to pay it down, please, because it's very expensive. So I do have that balance there, but that's definitely going to go away very soon. Otherwise, again, nothing has changed, which leaves $294,723.17 in liabilities, which means my net worth is now $71,144.81, which is a total gain of $10,337.19, which is our biggest gain yet in the series. Now I definitely want to take a moment to talk about what's next. So as I've mentioned before, I do want to buy a piece of real estate as soon as I can, that is as soon as I find a good deal. I'm not going to rush into a deal just because I want to buy some real estate, because there are probably going to be some pretty good deals soon, or at least more good deals than there currently are, and I wouldn't want to miss out on a bunch of good deals just because I bought one bad one hastily. That's no good. However, I don't have a blanket rule where I'm going to be holding back cash for good, because I know there are good deals now. I just had one that I made an offer on, so there are deals there, and I'm not going to just pretend like I know where the market's actually going to go. If there's a good deal now, I'm going to take it, because I'd rather have a good deal now, and then I could stop worrying about it, rather than try to wait for the best deal on the planet, because it may never happen, and even if it does, if I still have a good deal now, I have a good deal. Yes, there's an opportunity cost there, but why wouldn't you take a good deal if you know you could get it right now? But after that, I think I'm really going to turn into a heavy debt paydown mode for probably a couple years after that. Maybe I'd buy a property or two more opportunistically, but really it would be a full debt paydown focus, because Emily Ann and I have that big giant chunk of student loans to get through, and they're going to be increasing over the next couple of years as she finishes her program, so that's going to be expensive, and we want to get through that ASAP, since a lot of that debt is at 6 or 7% interest, and that's not very good, especially given how cheap debt is right now. So I think what I'd be envisioning doing is paying into my HELOC, which is right now at 2%, and I would then use the HELOC balance that I have freed up to then throw it at the student loans or something like that, because the HELOC is revolving, so I can keep using that line of credit over and over and basically refinance the student loans into a much lower interest rate as we go along. I do have this summer and the fall left before I graduate law school, which will free up even more time so I can focus on my actual post-law school career. I do have a job lined up right now for well after graduation, but in the meantime, I've got about a year and a half to make something happen. So I'm really going to be focusing on creating different streams of income with the resources that I have right now. One of those is going to be my real estate agent business, which I've been focusing on for this summer. It's a little awkward given the quarantine situation. I do have some clients that I'm working with right now, mainly to find rentals, but also a few buyers who are looking to buy in the Chicago area. And hopefully that can create an additional income stream that hopefully will increase as well as I get more clients and move through the summer. I'm also going to be looking for ways to create additional streams of income through affiliate marketing. And that's where you create something like a website, maybe a blog, and then you use that, tailoring it to a specific niche, and then offering that niche products on other people's sites. Amazon being a big one that has a very reputable and strong affiliate program, where if you have someone go to Amazon through your link and they purchase anything on Amazon within 24 hours, then the person who referred the link gets a commission from that based on the purchase price of whatever the people bought. So if I can get a few affiliate sites going and have them have really good search engine optimization so that they show up on the front page of Google, then by the time that those actually get going, I could actually hopefully have some extra streams of income coming from that as well. Otherwise, we always have trusty dividend stocks, but I guess they're becoming increasingly less trusty given the market conditions, so I want to diversify my income streams more than that. I am much more flexible than a lot of people right now who've lost their jobs and maybe don't have a lot of time or options to actually make something happen. But I know there are other people in my shoes who have time and maybe have their expenses pretty low or have some sort of way to maintain themselves through the crisis, even if that happens to be government aid. You can take this time to try and explore things that you maybe have been thinking about doing. Start your side hustle that you've wanted to do. Try to create a passive income stream. Can it really hurt you that much to spend some time over these next few months trying to do something like that? I think it's a great opportunity and definitely a good learning opportunity as well. Even if it doesn't pan out, you'll know something new and then you can maybe share that knowledge or use it to build on something else. So to pass a lot of the time, I've been working on a book that I'm getting closer and closer to getting a final draft ready. We're still many words away, but it's coming along quite well. I've got the cover art under production right now, so we're looking forward to that, and hopefully that can be a source of education and also inspiration for those who might want to read it. I'll definitely have more details on it very soon when I make the actual announcement of what the book will be and when it's probably going to release. And also I'll be looking for help in trying to actually get the final draft ready to go, and I'll need people to read the initial copy to see if any changes should be made and what people actually think about this first draft. If you want to be involved with that, definitely check out the link in the description below to join my email list. That way I'll be able to send you and all of my followers an update about the book and how you can actually get involved with helping with it. And certainly you could be a part of my very first published book, which would be a lot of fun, and it would be a great honor to me to have your help in actually making that book. Well, that's all I've got for today. If you like this video, please like it because it helps the channel out a lot, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new updates for this series, as well as all of the other content that I'll be putting out over the coming months. And be sure to check out the links in the description for free stocks through Webull and Robinhood, since you'll get those free stocks just for opening your account, putting a little bit of money in, and you can sell those stocks right after getting them, and then you can call it quits. You might as well take the free money while you can, because there's no guarantee that these programs will continue forever. And definitely let me know in the comments below what you're doing with this time and what you're trying to do to make your situation better. Definitely would love to see it and we can get a discussion going. But until next time, take care.